Hello, I'm Edwina Wilson, the CEO and founder of Kelly's Choice and the host of Kelly's Choice radio show, where the caregivers and the differently able have a voice. And he didn't let me give up. Yeah, that voice right there. Oh, y'all know me. I always
Give
say,
us a number. Give us a number.
girl, you know what I'm saying? I give you a number, all right. Might not be the best one, but I'm gonna give you a joyful one. Well, thank you all for
Oh,
joining us today. It's going to be a great day. I thank God for another day, basically. Always grateful for another day to wake up and see another day. God is awesome. He keeps us going. And but I heard something very powerful today. And I wanted to say this. I wrote it down so I could make sure I wouldn't forget. So this is how I'm gonna start with today. Sometimes when you go to God and ask God a question and your question is not answered, have you ever thought about, am I asking the right question or asking it the right way? Something to think about, right? Something to really think about.
I haven't gotten more to that. Not even the fact of asking the right question, but are you ready for the answer?
Well, you got to be ready for the answer. That's a good thing, because if you put the question out there, you got to be ready to receive what God is going to give you.
Unfortunately,
how He's going to answer it.
Unfortunately, all of us ain't always in the right place to receive the answer that is available to us, and even if it is, we don't always know how to comprehend it because we're not at the right place at the right time. We may ask the question, but we may not necessarily be there spiritually, mentally, to understand how to process the question or the answer to the question. So yeah, it's things that you learn as you grow older. You go, man, you know what? Now that you think about it, and I give you an example. My mother used to have a friend. One of his sayings was, "A is always A. Mm-hmm. A is A. Can't be anything else but A." I never understood what that meant until I say probably about maybe 5-6 years ago. It just dawned on me what it actually meant, and it was profound because A can only be A. It can't be anything else but A. You can only be you. You can't be anybody else but you. Mm-hmm. So be the best you can be. So it was,
Mm-hmm. Give me that remote.
Take my mouse too.
I say this. If you're going to be ready, if you're going to ask God a question, always make sure that you are ready to receive the answer.
Yeah, that's true.
It could be bigger than what you even put out there. So are you ready to receive the answer in the question that you ask God? But let me say it one more time so this can marinate. I need this to marinate in you because this is a great thing. If you ask God a question and you feel like your question is not being answered or have not been answered, did you ask God the right question? Did you ask the right question? Did you put it in the right perspective? Think about how you ask it so you can revisit that question and go back and ask it in a different way. And be ready to receive that response, the answer that God gives you, whether big or small. Just be ready. All right, that's what I wanted to say. I thought that was very, the question was very profound. I thought that was a great question that came up. So we're going to go on with the day, and we're going to have a great show. So today we have with us Susie, and Susie is the founder of Cerebral Palsy Space in Kenya. She was actually supposed to be my guest on September the 27th, but unfortunately, my family celebrated me in a surprise 55th birthday celebration. We ain't gonna go into that. We're really, really excited.
It's fortunately, not unfortunately.
Did I? Oh, fortunate. Go ahead.
I was going to bring that to her attention too, but I appreciate it.
You know what? Thank you both. Okay. All right. Sometimes I can receive corrections. All right. As long as they good. Fortunately, yes, you're right, both of y'all. Fortunately, I had a surprise celebration from my family, and it was the most magnificent day ever, literally. Though they would tell you they had a hard time trying to get things together for me and get me in the house, it worked out good. It was a blessing.
She's been difficult.
That's what they said. But anyway, y'all, thank you for joining us. We're going to get right on with Susie. I'm just so proud of this young lady. We met a few years ago. We chat quite often on through Messenger, and we have our live ones just texting or whatever. But it's just a pleasure and an honor to actually have met her and follow her. Her journey has been just awesome. When you find a person that have a huge heart, and even when you're in your struggles and the difficultiness of what you're going through and the challenges of what you're going through, but your heart is not only for you and your family, you see past that and you see for the community. This is what I see in this young lady. I see how she, through the things that she go through and endure, she's still out there helping the community. Man, I tell you, when I say it's huge, it's huge. And another thing that gets me with that is financially, she really don't have it to do that. But God continue to bless her in magnificent ways to be able to not only help her family, but help others as well. So let me introduce no other than Susie. Susie. Okay.
Rocket.
I do. I told you I'm trying to keep up with you. How you doing today? I get a little crazy sometimes.
Wow. You got me so warmed up, like flattered, and wow. What a huge introduction. Really? Oh, my goodness. Oh, thank you for hosting me once again here.
Okay.
I know these are the platforms that everybody could be looking for when they really want to do things, and reaching out to people. As much as we are on the ground, sometimes we have to voice it out, and obviously someone has to stand in the gap, which might not fit, but you narrow the gap. Not always that you'll fit in it, but you can narrow the gap and ensure that maybe somebody has it easier than they had it yesterday. Somebody is more positive today than yesterday. So, and that's why Susie is here. Susie is a mother of 4, a single parent, but keeping it strong, and mostly, actually, sometimes I don't feel like I have 4 kids. I think I owe it to every other child who can peg it to me, because it's not everyone who has the grace. It's not everyone who has the ability to even understand what these children go through, especially children with cerebral palsy. But I thank God for the revelation. I thank God for the grace, because were it not for His sufficiency, I don't think I would even stand to say I have a child with CP. Simply because I don't want to be cast out. So, but it's out of His grace that I can voice it. I can say about any other child other than mine. And I thank God. I thank God for the journey. It's been amazing.
Okay, so let's talk about. Okay, so let me ask this question. Be very. Why? What do? How do I put the question? So, okay, though you struggle and have challenges, how is it that you can receive to be able to keep you in mind and your family, but also focus on the community?
Well, that's something we call a vision and a revelation of the vision. See, what's the path that once goes through feels easier for others. I mean, you once had it rough, but when you're directing others, you feel like it's easier. Not because they don't face the difficulties, or maybe if you were going through a path, a bush that does not have a path through, and you're the first one to go through it, it means that you'll clear away. You can tell where the stones are, where the pit holes are, and all. So, for me, seeing other people getting it easier than I had makes me feel like, hey, I need to go even to the next one. Because this one, I've made it to this point. Then what about the other point? I feel like as much as I'm having it hard clearing the path for the others, it takes a positive look of it from how people respond. There's somebody who would tell me, Susie, I feel shattered by this journey because I don't even understand. My child is 3 years, my child is 5 years. But because you possibly feel not that 10 years is my child is the oldest, is not the oldest, there are other older ones, but because I can see positivity in whatever thing I do, it keeps me pushing through. Uh, how hard I face it ensures that the future generation or the next parent does not face it the way I am. And you have sometimes we have to be very bold for the next generation. We have to clear it, ensure that the other person has it better than you do. You have the answers of the past journey, the next step. You can almost predict what will happen next. And so I think seeing the positive change is what makes me push through, regardless of whatever thing my family, my personal nuclear family could be having. Because my children are still very young, between ages of 10 and 3 years. I got 4 children in 7 years,
Mhm.
and it wasn't easy. There are other people who feel like, no, we can't get children now. This after our firstborn has cerebral palsy.
Mhm.
But because you're there to show them that anyway, you can have other children other than this one because it's doable.
Mhm.
It might not give them the same results. Well, I don't negate the fact that there are those families that have more than one child with CP or any other disability, but we have to keep it positive and also know that why are we doing this? That keeps the motion. That keeps me uh, ready to fight for anything. Facing a lot of difficulties, even in policy making and implementation of the set policies and rules or laws regarding cerebral palsy. But yeah, we have to do it because it's us that God has revealed to. And so
Mhm.
we've got to
Mhm.
answer. Yeah.
Mhm. It's you said it's us. God gives certain things to certain people, that he know would take charge and run with even the most difficult challenges in spite of what they're dealing with. And, so God gets the glory out of all of that. He gets the glory out of our victory because it's a victory for us when we're able to be able to support others even in our challenges and situations. So that's a blessing. That's a blessing.
Sure.
And you support a huge community, you know. I've watched you during, all the time, but especially during a pandemic when it really everything shut down and it became hard for y'all, and how you were just running to support the community. I think that's just a phenomenal thing to have. It's your spirit, it's your heart, it's the love and care that you have for others, to be able to even do that. Because you could have just kept it to yourself and like, man, this is hard. This pandemic happened. I got to support my family. I get worried about other families. But you didn't see that. You saw supporting everybody else in spite of. How do you continue to move forward with, I mean, especially since the pandemic hit, how were you able to continue to keep that same heart, keep that same love and spirit to be able to continue to do that even when times got even harder, when things shut down? How were you able to still manage to be able to look out for others?
Oh, well, one is that I am very focused on pushing through with my vision because, as I've said, we don't want this the continuity of struggles. We don't want to see that everybody else is shutting down. Like, we need a future generation. We need to say what next for our kids. If during pandemic, if everybody would shut down, then what next? Because I do say I'm not strong than any other parent. I'm not rich. I, I'm not very empowered and everything. I don't have it all, you know. But what I have in mind is a vision. What I
Mm,
have in mind is a focus. How do we come out of this strong? Um, it has, you know, we are in Africa, and when our economy shuts down, I think even just a small shake of of the economy, it can really shut down everything, and it will not be easy even to come out of it. So during that time, you as a person who is not infected, you are affected, but you're not infected. So by the time all this season comes out, you have to know that you've fought your best battle. Because if you don't fight, how do I even come to explain to the parents that have already always told them, oh no, stand still, which example did I set? Was I strong for them when there was the need? And it's not about showing them that I can. It's about when are you needed? When is the need most at epic? If you can't stand up when you are, then I think there are other times that we don't need just mentorship. We need actions. We don't need just motivational speaking. We need an act, because desperate times calls for desperate moments and desperate actions. So come in a desperate way. Look for the most desperate solution. I mean, look for the solution in a most desperate way. And let me say, it is during those fights that you're fighting against the wave that you'll know how strong you are against them. And this is what I wanted to see. I wanted to see that strive. At what limits can I go? Who, who can I reach out to? Who can I call for? Who should I go to? And is it the best time for me to come over right now? Yes, and it is. It's not anything competitive. It's not about, it's just giving hope. There's a person who would feel, oh, if Susie is this down, then I think I should be underground, because I don't think I can be stronger than her. So if the only pole they are looking out for is weak or acts as weak, then they would they would definitely die of the desperation. They'll feel so weak, so vulnerable. What about us who go to the community where you tell them, okay, fine, everybody should stay in the house, but for me, I'll be outside serving, because I know when you're inside, you need somebody outside. And this is where you stand in the gap. How much the how much you putting to into will be manifested after the pandemic. How much you encourage these people, how much you provide to them, how much you see them, that is what will make them come out strong, because whoever they've looked at as the strong one was strong,
Yeah.
and did not just stumble and fall. As you're a leader, and you have to be in the front line, fight it out without saying that you're risking too much. Of course,
Mhm.
there's a lot of risk involved, but you just pray God and tell God, anyway, you know, I'm going to do part of what you sent me to do. Please
Mhm.
guide me, protect me, provide for me, because somebody somewhere needs this strong pillar.
Yes, yes, yes. Wow. But yeah, say more. Because I know you listen to it. Yeah.
Oh no, I was just taking it all in because I mean you have a lot of key points about one of the things you said, how you help the families understand that though you may have maybe your firstborn child may have been born with CP, that doesn't mean you stop having children. There's still opportunities for your other children as well. You just have to take them. And then of course being locked down, but still having to get out there and be in the forefront. You're being fortified enough to be able to, the armor of God is being placed on you for you to be able to step out there and know that you're protected and not having to worry about, fear. It's there, but you're not consumed by it. It's not what controls you. And the parents see that and they figure, hey, look, like you said, if Susie's doing it, and she's, if you're down, then they figure, why should I be, up? But if they see you strong, then they realize, I can stay strong as well and keep moving forward. And I know we got people like Susie who's right there, helping us out and looking out for us and giving us a word of motivation to keep us moving forward. So, it's just some great nuggets and power there. So
Yeah, yeah. Do you feel that they look up to you, the community look up to you? Do you feel like you're the first? Well, maybe not the first, but well, do you feel like they look up to you? A lot of them look up to you. Not just the CP family, because I'm sure the CP families look up to you. What about the community, the other parents?
Well, you have to understand that in this space that I stand in, uh, we have other programs. We have like feeding programs for the vulnerable children, for the poor children in the slums. And so the pillars that uh, I support, or rather, the pillars that I stand in, shows that. There are other people who look up to us, to me. Like, Susie, we did not eat. This child is a child who does not have any disability. But when
Mhm.
you go to the slums, you find maybe the parents are drunkards. It's still in the morning at 8 a.m. and they're all lying in the ditches, very drunk. What about that child who sees me coming with some rice and says, "Oh, at least today we can eat"? You know, when they see us cooking in the morning and they know, okay, we have some porridge to drink, even if our parents are nowhere to be seen, but at least we can. There are those also parents who, after saying that we are doing something, they feel like we should be part of this, because you're setting an example. And
Mhm.
when you set an example to the community, regardless of how much they have swerved off the right track, they'll still come back and say, I think I can join your feeding program. Can I help you in cooking and preparing food, fetching firewood? So if you have that kind of a leader, you'll definitely see like a few parents, a few adults, a few young girls who wants to be like you, and they feel, oh, I think there are good people out there other than see, like when you go to the slums, for example, during this pandemic, So many other children have been put to a lot of pain because they go without food. So they venture into dump sites. At the dump sites, they get these cruel boys and girls, or rather women and men. They recruit them into weapon faring. They recruit them into drugs faring, into sexual, uh, uh, you know, and engagements. And so these children do not do all this because of anything else. It's because sh- they don't have anything else. They just want that $1 or even less, half a dollar, just to go and buy something outside there to eat. But when you cook something for them, they'll not find themselves looking for this way. And then in the process, you'll talk to them, of course, because they are children who are not going to school currently. So you have to engage them. It is during when you give them, the way to have them is through the stomach, or maybe for the young girls, things like sanitary towels. You'll gather them and have a word with them. This one will see a very positive change in the community. And
Mhm.
that child, that girl who was thinking of maybe engaging into something else over the night, because maybe we'll get something, a $1 for tomorrow's food, for a packet of sanitary towels. They will not, because you've already spoken to them and actually donated some sanitary pads to them. They will not engage. So these are the things that can really make you wake up in the morning, do whatever it takes, go to whoever matters, whoever cares, and get these children something to eat. So it does not only apply to the children with cerebral palsy; it goes wide to the community, especially the slums. If you visit my page often, you'll find me. I engage a lot with the slums because this is where almost every bad thing, every negative activity breeds from. But it's not that easy also reaching out to them, because the demand is too high than my hands can even do. So just taking a small portion of 200 children per day
Mhm.
to feed them, out of a probability of 6,000 children, it's just a small portion. But what do we say? Just like our motto at Cerebral Palsy Space, we say, one time at a time, because you only do what is humanly possible.
Okay, okay. That's like when sometimes when I do fundraisers, I have done fundraisers in the past. When I know of someone, trying to raise money for accessible van, I say one family at a time, and because that's what it is, one at a time. And you want to just be a blessing one at a time, however you can be, So this is very powerful of, just having such a huge heart and love and care for the community. You my sister from another mother, so I had to throw that in there.
Hey, 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 want
I
us
know
to
you,
meet
girl.
our mothers, maybe from the same mother or father,
Maybe for the same.
the same father, our God.
Yeah, that's right, that's right. There you
Yeah.
go, there you go. um so
Well, I got a question. I mean, talking about going out to the slums and trying to catch the young folks that you can before, as you said, the older women and men try to get them on the wrong path. Does that do you feel afraid sometimes when you go out there? Because I know you're kind of putting yourself in direct line for them to know who you are
mhm.
and the fact that you're impeding their business. But then once again, it shows the fact of not being afraid, because you got to do what you got to do. You have to step forth and say, at all costs, I'm just going to do what I can to try to take care of these young folks out here now, because If not, they're going to be in that life, and it's not good for them, or their children if they have children as they get older, or whatever. So, what keeps you strong in that, knowing that you're going up against folks who are trying to turn them down the wrong path?
Working in the slums is not easy. Actually, those are the most places you can see diversity of character, from the worst to the best. And also, there are those people who are who are on the ground, the social workers. Those are the people I work closely with. They are known because in the slums they only take those people who belong to them. You cannot just come strangely and get yourself into the slums because they don't know your motive. Maybe you're coming to check who is doing this and that, who is selling drugs, with you know you're doing some investigation, they wouldn't allow you. But now you have to work with the people on the ground, tell them your intention. That is the social workers. They'll direct, they usually direct me, don't go there. If you go there, you're going to get shot. Don't go there. You'll be mugged. Sometimes I can't even carry my phone. I can't carry a camera, but you have to go. Uh, and you have to work with those people who are on the ground
Mhm.
to get familiarize yourself. Once you're introduced to them, especially quote unquote the bad boys, when you're introduced to them, uh, the second time you come there, actually they'll be the one welcoming you, simply because last time you came with something positive. Yes, you brought us food, or you brought our children some food. So it's not every time that you'll be pushed away, but it's also not every time you're welcome, because any person who is in crime is a very paranoid person, and they
Mhm.
think you're coming possibly in a positive motion, in a positive way, but you're investigating, you're an undercover investigator or something. So they're also cautious with you. And with that, we also don't take this place. We don't take, if it is food, it's not like one place. So you have to have, there are also those bad people that you have to engage with so that they can know you. And they'll not be too easy on you. They'll just come and possibly harass you because they want to see if you can voice out and say what's your real intention here. So next time you come with your wheelbarrow and taking food there, they'll just accept and say, okay, okay, so long as you give us first before you go to the next one. So maybe sometimes you have to topple your options or your priorities. You're going to the kids, but now you have to go to the other person. You have to risk it all, and then so long as you don't go there to try and intimidate them, come and do your job, and then you leave. And so long as you also don't carry your valuables, you're okay. But all in all, there are those who have positively been impacted. They have changed. They have gone to right paths. They've gone back to school. They've gone to church. Because as you mingle with them, you'll get to realize that maybe some of them did not see that mentorship, because they've also grown in those slums. They've seen their parents drinking themselves silly, leaving them hungry the whole time. So they just survived. And possibly how they survived it negatively, through
Mhm.
mugging, through robbery, through all this. That's why they are now adults. So it's it's not all lost, because just that one person who will change. That
Mhm.
is a minus one, and a positive one on our side. You've got to just pursue it with caution, wherever you feel like, the good thing with women, and I'm not boasting about this, or rather I can. is that we have our sixth sense, and the instincts will always guide you and tell you, okay, when you feel like you're getting shaky about a place or doubtful, then don't go.
Yeah.
But all in all, that actually gives me a moment of reckoning. Like I feel like, what about that child with disability and is in these slums?
Hmm.
What about that? How is the parenthood there? What about that parent who has this child and has totally nothing, and they must just stick there? What about that parent? It gives me a lot of worries
Yeah.
in such a setting. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. There's some mosquitoes here. I'm trying to keep myself safe.
Mhm. Okay, so basically, you have to, in somehow, some way, you have to really pick and choose your battles when it comes to going out in the community in different areas.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know you've shared a lot of that with me, but I really want, those that really don't understand your community, your country, and just to really see some of them things, because we are truly blessed, that we don't have to experience that, but to get a better understanding here, to see when some folks ask for assistance, they're asking you, well, you know what? No, let me not say that, because you got some people that ask that really don't need it. But for me, following you, knowing you for quite a while, some years now, I know when you ask, because you don't ask, but I know when you ask, you need it. And that's what I want, a lot of us folks to understand, that when some people, pour into you or come to you and they don't normally come to you, help them out, support the community. If you were blessed to have, bless someone else that really need, so we want to, me and DJ are putting together a GoFundMe account to support you, in the wonderful things that you're doing in the community, and for cerebral palsy, those with disabilities, because I've seen you helping with wheelchairs, I've seen you helping with braces, I've seen a lot of things that you're doing in the community, and you're using one little vehicle to transport these things back and forth, way from where you're living at. And in my mind, I'm always thinking, wow, what more can I get? You know what? How can I do the, and I'm always asking you questions. How much does this cost? And how much does that cost? So I'm always asking you these questions, like, because in my mind, I'm like, I want to help. I want to help.
Hmm.
And and it's so funny, because DJ said to me, me and DJ talk a lot. And he just recently said to me about, a van. And I thought about it, I said, here I am looking at wanting to really get you a vehicle so you can be able to transport when I need a vehicle too. But that's why I say you my sister from another mother. But we got the same father, because even though there are things that I need to continue to do things, I see the need for you as well. And if I can help you get it, I'm happy with that. But mine will come. You know what I'm saying? Mine will eventually come as well. But my focus has been on what more can I do to help Susie, because I see what you're doing. So that's a different story. I see what you're doing, and we want to give back. We want to give what we can, to help you continue to do those things in the community for yourself and other families that need it, you know. So I just want to let you know that we are definitely working on we're going to create the GoFundMe. We're going to work on it starting tomorrow. And in hopes that some people will really support us in this drive to get those funds over to you. You know, but I have to say this, because I hear you, I see you, I get it. I truly understand the push and drive you have, because I do the same thing. I call all of y'all my family. All of y'all my family, from another family, another mother, another father. But y'all all my family. I love everybody that I work with. You heard me say work with. So we want to definitely help you continue to feed your community, but also maintain the support and give it back to the cerebral palsy community in those devices and equipments that they need. And hopefully we can raise enough money. So DJ said we are enough money so you could get this vehicle that you need to be able to transport back and forth. We're going to trust and believe that we're going to get enough money to do that. We definitely going to get enough money. And I know mine's going to come. I know mine's going to come. So I have to look at this because I see your drive. I see your heart and your love. And I want you to be able to continue to do what you have to do, because that's huge.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. You're melting my heart. Okay,
I
you
mean,
say
you melt mine when I see you out there. It's like, I see you and I see what you're doing. And I'm gonna be honest with you, I need a lot of things to continue to support Kelly's choice, like some of the projects that I'm working on. But I have what I can manage right now, but I want you to continue to be able to do the things that you are doing. So I see that drive, I see that heart, I see that love, and it's going to get better. It's going to get better as long as we can help it. It's going to get better. Those that want to support Kelly's choice and DJ in this drive, we're going to trust and believe that it's going to get better, and for you to continue to be able to be a blessing to those. Okay.
Oh, okay. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I, I'm almost swallowing my words. Okay, you see, when you talk of a van, I had mentioned it to you because let me tell you, like today, okay, I'm not in my county. I mean, I'm not in Nairobi. I'm in coast part of our country,
Mhm.
uh, where it's like I have to go everywhere and
Mhm.
see that things are done, know what needs are in that county. When I talk of counties, when I to get to where I am, I had to travel for 8 hours by road. So now you can imagine when I come here, I have to carry maybe a wheelchair. Now I have to pay it as a parcel. I don't know. You know, Today I received the saddest news that anyway. I know they do happen. These things do happen, but today it really hit me hard because it's a child I know of in the slums, and it was really sad. Like you know, the mother left and went to do some laundry in a neighboring town, and this child was locked inside, and a fire broke in the neighboring, and this child just burnt to death.
Mm.
And it was not easy, even for anybody even to know that there's a child there. See, but you see, when we have our daycare there, we pick these children from their houses to ensure that they are not locked in the house because of all these dangers that can get them. And it feels really disheartening to see that such a child could just die like that helplessly. How does even a child start burning from the toes to the you know how does it even happen? It's quite sad. It was really sad. I'm yet to go back and see the family, but of course Avan would do us good in this ministry because we'll find that all these children who need to get to the center, regardless of how our space is, how small our space is, but at least is a safe haven for these children. That I
Yeah.
know, because we have people who can come and volunteer, help us look after these children. Sometimes I have to take wheelchairs out there. You see, I have to use a cab every day. Every day, I have to take a cab
I see.
every day, and this cab is not. I have to pay $200 to $300 every day. So it's not easy even to come up with that money. This is
Mhm.
the money that would only possibly, if I were to fuel $300, that one would take me a whole week if we had our own vehicle. But now, because we have to hire, it's more expensive. At some point, I don't have even that money. I can't go to the ground. I can't reach out to people. I can't take food. So I feel like that is one way that at least can really help the community a lot, a lot. And it's uh, even at the center, we have emergencies happening. You know, a child just started convulsing, and you need to rush this child to the. Unfortunately, in our country, it's not where you'll just call an ambulance and it arrives. You can call for like even 10 times and nothing happens. So when you have those emergency cases, maybe even a child can fall and fracture from at the scene. How do we do that? How do you rush that child to the hospital? If a
Mhm.
caregiver gets something goes wrong, how do you even attend that person? We don't have emergency responses, but at least when we have something on standby, we can. Somebody calls me, oh, come, I have a whole sack of potatoes or cabbages, and I have to know how it has to get to us. So again, you pick a cab. You know, the inconveniences that also come with a cab is that sometimes they have gone outside the vicinity. You know, there are not many, so it just requests and you have to wait. It feels like there's a gap that has to be filled because if we were to do this ministry, then it means you have to give it full. You have to go full board. There are so many things. There are so many things that need to be done, and definitely transport eases up things. It's not anything that you don't want to do. It's not that you're called and you ignore. No, no, no. You feel like you'll suffocate in these needs, these requests, because I'm not an octopus personally, so I don't know, but I can work as an octopus because when you have transport, you can at least move to the next place. So when these children are taken from their houses to the daycare, and from the daycare to the, when you have a van that can be at least be modified to suit these children's needs, unlike a cab where it cannot be customized because of you alone. So you've got to use it to use something that is too personal,
Mhm.
with CP especially. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Wow. Oh man. And I think that's the sad part right now with you having to not shut down per se, but you can't utilize cerebral palsy space right now because of the pandemic, where in cases where parents had to do things, they were able to come to you, for a safe space for your kids, while for their kids, while they were able to do things. I know that could be a hurting feeling to you, to have heard that news. And I'm sorry that the family had to endure that. I couldn't even imagine. Like I don't even want to talk about that no more. But I just be glad when everything opens back up, for your country, so you could be able to continue on with cerebral palsy space and continue to be that support and help for those families that need it bad. Because I've seen from where you wanted to start and starting and the thing. I just seen it all. My heart just goes out, and um, you know I'm with you. I'm with you all the way. And thank God I have someone in my corner to sees what I see and is willing to just say, and Miss Edwina, Miss Winnie, let's do this. Let's go for this. Let's go for this, you know. So again, we are going to create a GoFundMe account so the funds can come to you to be able to continue to support your community. Um, I am a trustworthy person. I do want to see. Well, you know that. You know that. So, any funds that do go into that cash, that GoFundMe account will go directly to you. I'm gonna have it set up because I already have your information of how to send funds to you. So we will put information on there if you want to send her money through Cash App. I think it's Cash. Was Cash App one of the ones you gave me just recently? Because I know I didn't use Cash
Mm.
App.
And no, it was
No,
not
it was
Cash App
Remit.
because we
Sorry,
don't use. It's World Remit.
Wild Remit. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Um, yeah. So I will get, well, she's going to post it up there. So Susie's going to post information up there where if you could do it now, send money, but we will create a GoFundMe account probably this evening, no later than tomorrow. We'll start working on it this evening for tomorrow to have it posted and saved for tomorrow and start sharing it with everybody that's willing to support this mission that we're about to project that we're mission movement that we're about to implement. Um,
Let me say,
okay.
I'm grateful. Okay, it feels like I don't know. We have too much to talk about because okay, today was about parenthood. Did we discuss about that?
Let's
Of
talk
course.
about parenting.
And it just clicked me like, okay, it's almost 1 hour.
I know look,
Yeah.
that's all right.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, we have a lot
We
to talk
appreciate that,
about,
Tamika. Thank you. Hmm.
because yes, 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 a lot to about parenthood. God, parenthood in Africa
Hmm.
for a child with cerebral palsy. Oh my goodness, it feels like you want to dream again and live the dream of having this child in Africa. Because personally, from where I stand, if I were in a better place that is more supportive, I think would be somewhere far. But now that we are here, now that we are here, last time we talked about superstitions in Africa. Can you imagine you with this child as a parent? One, the first thing that we experience much is a breakup of families. A lot of us blame games. In our family, we don't have these kind of children. In our family, we don't have. I think your mother or somebody did this and that's why it's only your family that can have these children and not us. So when these blame games start off, my friend, you just disappear. You just want to be far away from this man or this woman because you can't live with it.
Wow.
I'm a first-hand experience of such blames, and actually, the person might also start mistreating you so that you can get fed up and go away with your children. Because in our family, we don't have such children. It's only you guys who have this and this. Remember, even your grandfather was, you know, possibly mistreated somebody, and that's why you guys are cursed. It's not easy even to even think of being a parent to a child with CP here. What you would think, like you want to be a parent, and when it hits, sometimes when I go to these clinics, the antenatal clinics, and see other mothers there, I try as much as I can to talk to the nurses who sometimes are very harsh to the pregnant women, and I tell them, please, can you give them an ear so that they are able to express the problems that they have. instead of scaring them away, and maybe somebody did something that can be solved. In the maternity, you find women giving birth on the floor, unattended. And so all these cases, s- now when I figure out what might happen to such a child who has been born on the floor and outside, if I figure it out, like this parent will be a parent to a child with CP. I, I, Let me say, I just feel like some cold showers are all over me, because it's not easy being one here. It's not. One, the superstitions here cannot even allow you. Because of these superstitions, actually, last time I missed Kore's question, and I saw it later, that do these superstitions hinder you from getting the help that you want, or the help that you could get? Of course they do. They
Mhm.
do, because here children are seen as assets. If your child is not productive, that is, if a child cannot go to school, cannot be sent here and there, then that's a waste. So who wants even to fund your projects for such a waste? Who wants to do something positive for them, and then what will they become in future? What will they become? Those are
Mm.
the questions. And they feel like you're just wasting us. Some parents even don't want to be called as parents with you, because
Yeah.
you don't have a child. You're just there. Actually, when you hear them telling us our children are cabbages, and
Wow. They
nobody
feel like you just have a
nobody
body. That's it. They feel like you just have a body that's there tagging along with you, like they just don't even exist. It's like, okay,
says,
count them out. Just count them out. That's what it sounds like.
yeah, 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 yeah. And even the voice of a okay, they would rather listen to an adult with a disability, but a quote unquote productive person. So even if you have disability, at least you can do one, two, three things. Look at our children; most of them are severely affected. So
Mhm.
even in Parliament, you cannot talk about representation of a caregiver. No, we don't have that. Who is a caregiver? Giving care to who? As in, why do we put in money to these projects? Why? And then what will these children be? There'll be nothing. They'll just be a burden to the country. So you can see all this being a parent in that situation. You're already stressed up. Personally, I love my kid. Like my daughter is 10 years. Somebody just asked there, how old is your daughter? My daughter is 10 years. And I don't know if I can even think of anything else other than her in matters of what kind of a child she is.
Mhm.
I am who I am because of her. I I don't think I would even practice any other career other than pursuing the CP dream. Because to me, this child is just, let me see, just something sweet. I don't know. I can't express it enough.
Yeah.
But you see, to another person, they wish they were not in my shoes.
Yeah.
The- And so even having a child with disability here is like somebody would even tell you, if they are your worst enemy, they would tell you, you'll get a disabled child, by the way, because they're cussing you out, thinking that that is the worst that can happen to you. They're cussing you. They'll say everything negative about this. So standing in the gap as you and trying to fight for these children, it'll be seen like you don't even have. It's like you don't even have anything to do in this world other than yapping, because that's what they say. We are just yapping about things that they're not productive to us. And that is why most of the communities, they just either ban them, or just spear them. I mean, they get them to the forest. They use swords on them, and then they leave them to be eaten by hyenas because they're not they're not useful. How do you stand strong in the gap and say, me and as Susie, I say these children have potential, whether they are mild cases, whether they are severe, because every child belongs and every child has the right to live. So long as their hearts are beating, they have the right to live. Nobody
Right.
has the right to say this one does not have the right to live.
Yeah.
Yet it's God who gave that child.
Mm-hmm.
So you as a parent, whether you are a single parent, whether you are a couple, how you choose to see these children is possibly influenced by how you feel about it at first and how were you nurtured as a child. Because like for us, I think in our village there was one with CP. For me, I did not know even anything about CP, neither had I even, but we were not even allowed to talk to that child.
Wow.
Not talking, even touching, this child who is drooling, and you're told that you'll become like her when you touch her. So
Wow. That's real superstitious.
y-
Yeah.
That's serious.
you can imagine you as a parent of that child, how you would feel when other children are told, no, you'll become like that child if you touch her. So can you stop
Let
going
me
to that
interfere real
house?
quick. Let me interrupt real quick. We always talk about cerebral palsy is not a disease. Your country is making people believe that cerebral palsy or any
It's
disability is
contagious.
it's contagious or is a disease and you could catch it. And
Yeah.
it's so sad to hear that when we try to get people away from those things, and just speak, say hi, how you doing, and you don't know the significance of each individual person that has a disability, whether they use a walker, a cane, a crutch, or use AFOs, braces, eyewear. I mean, we try to get society to look at them different. um, they do things just a little bit different than us, some of them, because of the different devices that they may have to use on a daily basis. But other than that, it's so many levels of people with different abilities that society don't even understand. But again, for me to hear that um, if you touch a child, you may catch it. So that makes it bad for the little children coming up and the children coming up because children, they like to play together. They like to enjoy on the playground, laugh and joke and running and stuff like that. But here you come out on the playground and you come across a child that has a disability and they run it away from them because they think they're going to catch this disease or this condition that they have. How do you, Susie, as a parent, as a founder of the organization that you have, how do you try to encourage the other families to teach their children, if possible, to teach their children not to say that, regardless of what your country says?
um our target, or rather my target point, is always where there's multitude. If I go to the church, I go with my daughter and I try to engage children at the Sunday school. I take her to the Sunday school, and when we have a presentation, I would always take her where they are, and she can't do much, but she'll laugh, she'll giggle, and I also engage these children and ask, "Do you know why Princess is like this?" And they would say, "No." Uh, so that is where again mentorship starts, and then organizing with the church elders and to try and educate people. In most cases, you'll not. Most of these children, they don't have that space to, or the opportunity to even to go to church because from you see, the mindset, what the mind carries is what is portrayed. If your mind tells you something negative, you know like if that parent of that child feels like people are laughing at me, they're staring at me because of my child, uh, they'll hide their children. They'll go to church, they'll go to gatherings alone, they'll go to family gatherings alone. They'll not carry this child because somebody somewhere will utter something wrong about that child. And
Mhm.
so all this is also falls under one of the programs that we have of guidance and counseling, where we talk to the parents themselves, because I believe that the healing starts from the from the parent. You know, it's the parent who takes the initiative to go and tell the others, you know, my child has cerebral palsy. That bold step has to come first from the parent. Because you're trying to heal an already sick nation. And how are you going to do that? You're not going to do that by just going and uh, telling them, don't laugh at my child. No, I'll bring my child to you. Then you'll realize that my child is lovely. You'll realize there's nothing like what you think in your mind. You know, the mountain that you have in your mind is not whatever it is. And also inviting people at the center to come and volunteer, making the project part of the community so that they'll know that these children are all over, and creating a lot of awareness. You know, the radio shows, the TV shows that I go uh, creates at least some element of awareness. It's not easy even to get those platforms because it does not sound like news to the news people. You know, it's not interesting because you know they want heated up debates like political debates. You know, those love affairs, celebrity debates, but not disability. You know,
Right.
they feel like you're coming to beg. You bring that. Let me talk with in my language. The woye, you know, when you say of woye, is like something you're sympathizing, or you but you don't. That is not the what you want to portray in these radio shows, in these TV shows. You want them to understand that our children exist. People need to get aware, but they don't want such debates. They feel like you're begging. You're coming here to beg for donations. You're coming here to, yet whatever you're being donated for is does not even, it's not for people who are useful to us. So they want those political grounds, campaigns, and but this one is not a topic. So even getting those campaigns, sometimes platforms, possibly you have to get connections either through a media personality who has a child with a disability and feels like it needs to be talked out, or
Mhm.
an influential person who is your friend who can influence the media to give you a platform. So
Mhm.
we're still a bit far from everything we would say awareness, but a few other people who are philanthropists in nature, because there are those people who have generally a good heart, and they feel like if you're fighting for these people, then you you're worth our support. But by the time it gets to that point, and you'll have really talked to people about it. Uh, okay, I understand, because I don't think 10 years ago I would have stood up and talked about CP. It
Right.
was it was not really known to me, and that is why at some point I don't want to stand at the side of the those people who know. I want to stand at the side of those who don't know, and I want to act like I don't know, so that I can understand the mindset of that person who discriminates against this child. I want to be on the other side of the world. I don't want to know like I know. Yes, I can be double, because I can go to the other side and say, okay, what was me 10 years ago about
Mhm.
cerebral palsy, about disability? What was my perception? So it means that these people who have not yet known about it and still discriminating against us, it means they are me 10 years ago. And now, because 10 years later, I can talk about things I could not have talked about. Then
Mhm.
let me give them a voice of understanding. Let
Mhm.
me be patient with them, talk to them about it, uh, help them understand that uh, every child, every child belongs, and every soul counts.
Right.
There are so many other times people have come to engage me and asked me, "Do these children even live long?"
Wow.
Mm, and okay, you find that question really weird because it's actually asking you directly about your child. You know,
Mhm.
so your child has cerebral palsy. Eh? Do these children live long? I see them dying every other time, and I'm
Wow.
like, okay. What do I explain to you about the relationship between their deaths, or else who do you know that has died? Then we can relate to what caused their death. And I have also realized that these children suffer a lot of this discrimination because these children understand everything. If you lock them in the house, they'll understand. If you laugh at them, if you hate at them, they will understand. And children here, as much as the parents will suffer depression, these children suffer it more because they
Mhm.
don't feel the affection, they don't feel like somebody cares. Uh, CP is a beautiful brain enjailed in a beautiful body.
Yeah.
The only
Yeah.
thing that lacks is that link of communication and
Mm.
coordination. So this person understands, the brain of this person understands what they need, how they want it, who cares and who doesn't. So if this child will suffer depression, actually most of them start convulsing because of these depressions. Because if I look at the causes of most of the causes here, it's either depression because this child cannot express themselves and nobody tends to understand them. And that's why they just sleep and not wake up tomorrow. They're over
Right.
depressed. You know, again, some don't even have those anticonvulsants because if I come to tell you that my child uses medicines every day, anticonvulsants every day, and then you'll ask me, and why do you say cerebral palsy is not a disease? This child is
Mhm.
on medication every day.
Mhm.
So even that parent is just afraid and will refrain from seeking help uh, because she'll be misquoted. Why are you using medicines? You told us this child is not sick. It's just a condition. Which condition is this that uses medicines? It's only a sickness. So, and that is why I cannot allow my child to come near your child because they'll contract the sickness. So, if that chain goes on like that, my goodness, parenting becomes really hard because
Mhm.
your circle is this small. Actually, you're just alone. You're just alone, or you're with other parents who are going through the same thing. Whereas we all need a bigger circle. We want those people even who are not going through what we are going through. But I thank technology so much. Before, smartphones have been known to come to us just like 8 years ago. That's when we have started having smartphones. That's where we are able now to join groups, to WhatsApp,
Mhm.
and at least this one has eased up the communication, the linking of these parents. But still, there are so many other who don't have even these phones. They still use the button phones, the small button phones,
Mhm.
just that can only make a call and a communication and a message.
Mhm.
So that parent will feel left out, or even might never even know. There are those people even who don't even have televisions, so they don't even have this information. That's
Mhm.
why every time I have to be on the ground. No, you cannot tell me somebody in the slum has a television.
Right.
Where will they place it?
Mm.
Hmm.
Where you and these are mad houses. The
Mhm.
all the robbery happens there. So if you place a TV there, somebody will not even need to use the door. they'll just break through the wall and take it and go and sell it. So
Wow.
you can imagine now, where will that person place such a thing? They don't have all this information.
Right.
You have to go to one by one. You have to do mapping and know where each and every child is. And let me say, I'm trying to see the best way we could be. The hospitals would help us register these children each and every time a child is diagnosed, and a parent. We're working on an application that a parent can do two things. One, can register a child and take through biometrics. If a child gets lost, possibly a child with autism might get lost, they can be reported from any police station. And once their biometrics are taken, maybe the fingerprints, it can bring all the results there. Because we've seen so many children getting lost here without a trace,
Mm,
forever, forever. They just die. They just kidnapped. They're just, you know, something just happens because they don't know where they're going. And then the other one will be an entity point for children with disabilities where they can be traced. That one will help us in mapping and knowing where is this child, who is the caregiver or the next of kin of this child. All this will help us do a lot with helping these children. And that is why, at least for now, because I go to so many houses, I can understand that there's a lot of work to do. But
yeah.
now, maybe we could work with the hospitals to help us trace these children. After diagnosis, they are put across to us. Um, I know one day God will open doors and we'll have enough help for these children.
Yeah.
Right about
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. For
Just
sure.
some great information.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, my God, we could go on and on and on. So maybe we'll do a
Hmm.
part two. We'll do a part two and come back. And we will start with um, parenthood. We'll start with parenthood in the community. Wow, this has been good, Susie. I appreciate you, coming on. I arranged this time just so we won't have you on late, per your request. And so I'm honored to be able to, do that. This is actually good for me too. It's early in
It's
the day.
an
Still early.
honor.
Yeah. So, is there any word of encouragement that you would like to leave for our viewers and listeners?
Oh, I have so many words. It's not fun. But I'll just say a few words to make one sentence. Well, parenthood is nothing scary, actually. Everybody should give it a trial. And as much as there are so many ups and downs, but I also tell people you were born. Can you bring someone else? Because give them the opportunity you were given, so that they can see what it is that you can do. As a child, as a parent to a child with cerebral palsy, it's obviously and ever, one day at a time. You can't skip, you can't double tap, you just have to live one day at a time. So,
Yeah.
and if there need be, you need help. Shying away will never help. Be bold, come out clearly, say what you really need, and somebody outside there, even if it is out of 1,000 knocks that you get one,
Mm-hmm.
that one is what you're looking for. So just seek that help. People are outside. People will help you, support you, uh, give your circle a name, give your circle a binding, and you're not meant to do this alone. You're not. So
Right.
just do it within what is humanly possible and don't shy away. Love that child. Love will come back to you. I appreciate.
Amen. Amen. Well, there you go, y'all. So we're going to do a part two with Susie. We will definitely bring her back, to just get more updated on life in Kenya. That's what I'm going to call it. Life in Kenya with Susie, because she really is enlightening us on some things that, can touch many lives here to be able to really get an understanding of being grateful.
And you'll visit
Being
Kenya
grateful.
too,
Being grateful,
right?
being thankful. Um, you know, thanking God every day for waking us up. Thanking God every day for just the life that we have now. Many times we complain about the smallest things, but it's somebody else out there doing worse or going through worse than what we go through. And when you think about the smallest things that we complain about, at the end of the day, you be like, okay, that was so minute. Why did I even complain about that? You know? So I hope this has enlightened somebody that may have been complaining about the smallest thing, but now you hear Susie's story and you're looking at it now like, why did I even? Why did I even? So thank you, Susie, again. I appreciate you coming on and sharing parenthood and life in the community that you work with every day. Wilson, you have any last minute words you want to say? This is my power man right here, y'all. He backs me up.
Nah, it was all intense information. It was good information. It was information that you would never know if you weren't in the trenches every day. And to have a firsthand knowledge of it or firsthand look into it definitely should open your eyes. So definitely appreciate you coming on with us, Susan, and talking with us and sharing your day-to-day workings and the blessings that you've been receiving, how you can spread those blessings out to others. So we definitely thank you once again.
Yeah. All right. My word for the day: tough times never last, but tough people do.
Sure, sure, sure.
That's what I want to say. All right, y'all have a wonderful evening. We will be back with a part two, but our next show is going to be about voting in the community for the disabled. Anyone, caregivers, anyone that want to join, just send me a inbox message or email to Kelly's Choice Cares at gmail.com. And we're going to focus on that for next week because we are so close to time for voting. And voting in a disability community matters. Okay. No debate or anything like that. We're going to just talk about the necessity and why it's necessary to vote. Okay. Thank you again, Susie. I appreciate you. And y'all remember to smile for everybody, to smile for someone. You never know who you may bless. True story. Y'all take care. Have a wonderful evening. See you back next Sunday, same time, same journey, same channel, same all of it.
Ciao.
Ciao, y'all. Bye bye.